I was a radio DJ for 2 years, and I had a show which was 3 hours a night, 4 nights a week. So when people say, oh, it's really hard to get your music on radio, my first initial thought is, you're not trying hard enough. Because I remember having 3 hours of a show every single night, 4 nights a week, and I've got to fill all of that with
what do I do?
Music. Yeah. And imagine sitting there and going, well, what are you going to do for 3 hours? It's easy to say, I'll play music. Well, it's like, well, what music?
Right.
And when someone comes up and says, hey, I've got a new single out, I'd love to come on the show and promote it. Absolutely. What day are you free? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? When are you free? Can you bring your guitar in? Bring your whole band.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, not only are they going to do something interesting, but also they're going to tell all their friends who are going to listen to the show. And so, it isn't as hard. It's the same thing with, local newspapers and magazines. People think it's very difficult to get in those things. But the reality is, imagine if you're a newspaper editor and the newspaper's 50 pages and it's the morning and you just say, what are we going to put in our 50 pages? Because we know it's going out. We know that paper's going out. We know that magazine's going out once a week. And as soon as it's gone out, then at that moment, you're like, oh God, we've got to do that all over again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the next day and the next day and the next day.
Right.
So if you've got a great story, you're in.
You're in. I mean, I think to me reflects a lot of the imposter syndrome and lack of perspective that I think a lot of artists have, myself included. Because I mean, I'm used to thinking, oh man, I'm bothering this person, right? Or like, whatever. But then what you're saying is like, yo, your content is a way you're even adding value and even maybe like doing those platforms a favor, right?
Absolutely.
Rather
doing me a favor.
than the other way around. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely do me a favor. And to the point where, every so often we would do competition. We'd run competitions on the radio. And people think, I'm not going to enter a competition on a radio. I'm not going to win because they're thinking of this like the lottery, and there's millions of people who enter the lottery. You wouldn't believe the amount of times that we were giving away 2 tickets to some, like a big band, like the Foo Fighters, for example, might be playing in town. They might give us 2 tickets and just say, look, there's your 2 tickets. Run it as a competition.
Yeah,
they get some publicity, and we get 2 tickets.
Yeah,
and it's given to me. Get 2 people to call in. First callers will win 2 tickets. And it's like half an hour into the show, and I'm like, nobody's calling.
No one. Wow.
It's because everyone just believes that will not happen because everyone else is going to ring. It's pointless. It's worthless. And, usually the people who take a chance, the people who will ring in, or the people who will contact the radio station and just say, hey, I've got a new single out. I'd love to send it to you. If it's presented in the right way,
sure,
got a good shot.